Welcome. Episode 20, Swing State Update. I'm Austin Smith here with the great
Jessica Barshis. Back for a second time. I'm excited.
Welcome back.
Trying to fill Tyler's shoes today, I suppose.
Tyler's in D.C. this week, working really hard for us over in the nation's capital, or the swamp, as we like to call it. Getting stuff done for our ballot chase operation. We are a 24/7, 365-day-a-year operation. Team no sleep. Tyler, that's why Tyler's going to D.C. and he'll be back here in Arizona today, actually, yeah.
Amazing. Well, I don't even think I've seen you guys since AmFest.
No.
Yeah, how did that go?
AmFest was awesome. Did you have a good time?
I did. I had an amazing time. And actually, I do want to say, so I went to some of the breakout sessions because, you know, I'm kind of coming into this. I mostly cover international news over at Human Events Post Millennial. So I'm a little new to like getting into the weeds with all of the swing state updates, I guess, as I should say, and the politics and the voting. And, you know, I was like, I really want to dive in. So I went to some of the breakout sessions. I went to one that Austin hosted, one that both Tyler and Austin hosted. I highly suggest you go if you didn't make it to them. If you're at AmFest and you didn't get a chance to make it to the breakout sessions, highly suggest going next year. They were like super fun too. Like these two are comedians. I had no idea. I knew they were like kind of funny, but I was cracking up.
I'll take it. I'll take what I can get, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like a garden variety almost of our breakout sessions at America Fest, especially on the Turning Point Action Day. I mean, we had the No on Ranked Choice Voting, talking about becoming an RNC delegate, chasing ballots, you know, coalition partners in building. And that was your first time. And that was kind of the whole purpose of why we do these breakouts is, yes, there are conservative and grassroots activists across the country that are interested in things like that. But you have to train them. You have to give them more information, kind of like almost a crash course on what that actually is. And so that's why we do, and we put them all together. The team did a really great job. We'll be doing a lot more of those throughout the year when we have more Turning Point Action events. We are in this election year, so you got to be there. You got to come with us to a bunch of these places. We'll have more.
I am so down, and I will sit in the audience with all of the enthused guests, like I did at the breakout sessions. If you were there and you were listening to them, I must say, like, you guys showed me up. You guys were so smart, so enthusiastic. I was so impressed. So you got a good crowd there.
Well, we appreciate it. We've got a good episode for you guys this week. Huge stuff. The Epstein files being released. This might be more up your alley that you're aware of rather than swing state stuff. But it does affect national politics, that's for sure. We'll talk about Wisconsin as well, about the Speaker of the House there, kind of slow rolling or speed bumping them getting rid of Robin Voss, who was the elections director in Wisconsin. And then we're going to talk about more ranked choice voting stuff here in Arizona, a big development with the move to ban ranked choice voting in Arizona. But let's talk the Epstein files right now. So last night, the Jeffrey Epstein documents, the first of the Maxwell lawsuits names were revealed, and more are going to be released as time goes on. So but all I have to say is this, is everybody kept saying that Donald Trump was going to be on this list. Donald Trump was nowhere to be found on it, but there was a crap ton of Democrats on this list.
Yeah, so it's interesting because even though Donald Trump was mentioned, it basically was clearing him of any wrongdoing, which I thought was fabulous. Like, I think all he said was, hey, we should go to a casino sometime, one of my casinos, and it never even happened. And I think Donald Trump came out saying that, you know, he ended up thinking he was kind of weird and just lost contact with him after that. And that just proved that. So
yeah, I mean, if you look back over time too, I mean, this has been an ongoing development story for several years now. And let's play clip one with our friend Jack Posobiec talking about the Epstein file.
Everything that you've seen since 2015 to today, it boils down to this. It's the Patriots versus the pedo ring. And it's been the Patriots versus the pedo ring ever since. Because when one man who was not on that list, a man who couldn't be bribed, a man who they didn't have blackmail on, stood up and decided to run for president, then everyone you see on that list turned against him and did everything they could to stop him. And they've been doing it ever since. That man's name is Donald Trump. And guess what? Trump knew that he wasn't on the list because he knew that he didn't do anything. That's why he didn't seem worried about this. And I saw people out there from both sides of the aisle, I should say, people that are supporting other candidates in the primaries, lying and saying that Trump would be on the list, saying that his name would be redacted, saying all of this stuff. The liberals, of course, claiming that he was on there. But guess what, folks? Even in depositions, witnesses say he was never at Epstein's houses. He was never on Epstein's island. He never participated in any inappropriate contact with any of the girls or any of this stuff. Investigated more that I think at this point, Trump has been investigated more than anyone else on the planet.
Huge. I mean, look at this now. So all several years during the Trump presidency, the left was like, Trump's going to be on the list. Trump's going to be on the list. Trump's going to be on the list. And now that he's not, they're trying to make a connection that he's somehow still connected to the list. Give it a freaking break. You guys were wrong. It just shows you how crazy these people are.
Yeah, well, so I actually did a write-up on that over at Post Millennial, but we've been covering that extensively. When the list was first released last night, we wrote an article kind of detailing, because it's a lot. Like there's tons and tons there that, was being dissected by multiple news outlets. We got down to the part where, witnesses were being questioned specifically about Trump. And I think it was, I don't even know how to pronounce her name, but the witness's last name was Giffrey, I think. And she even stated that a reporter at some point said that, let me see here. Sorry, one second.
I'll tell you this, though, that the one that shocked me the most was Stephen Hawking.
Yes.
That's wild.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask you. What do you think the number one question or topic I'm being asked about is? It's, how was Stephen Hawking there? And we know that, Epstein, I guess, allegedly emailed, I think it was Ghislaine actually, saying, he didn't participate in one specific orgy that took place. He mentioned Stephen Hawking by name. But still, what was he doing there?
Right.
I'm very confused about it. And then the second question that I've been asked the most, or the topic that's been brought up, is what are the 4 names that are redacted from the list?
Yeah. That they're waiting for, I think, 20-something days before they can release these next ones?
Yeah, and, I have heard a lot of commotion surrounding this from political commentators saying, why are they redacted? They need to be named. I've also heard that they are redacted because it has been investigated that they really had no wrongdoing. I think I kind of believe that, because I feel like, if it was someone who was super rich, super powerful, who could have had their name redacted from the list, I mean, they're already on there. They're already exposed. They would have been exposed first. I kind of believe that. So I don't know. We'll see how that comes to fruition there. But
yeah, this is going to play a big role in the 2024 election, and here's why. Like Jack was talking about, the left, the swamp, the deep state, Hollywood, media, business, entertainment, sports has thrown the kitchen sink at Donald Trump every single time. They were hoping this was going to be one of the explosive grenades that finally takes him out. Wasn't anywhere near the list, had nothing to do with it. Totally exonerated. If you read the transcript there from the court cases, had nothing to do with Donald Trump. So now they are at an all-out scramble to save these people that they have praised and put on a pedestal, that they are the, like I said, these elite people who live in glass houses and throw stones all the time. And here we are, somebody like Donald Trump who had nothing to do with this disgusting pedo ring, and the left that accused him of being a part of it and being a part of that class that did it, nowhere to be found in it, had nothing to do with it, but all of them were. And I don't know how much this will tie into Joe Biden and the Biden family, but at this point, anything is possible. So
yeah, anything's possible. I actually do have the passage here. So it says, when given the text of Churcher's reports about Trump, the witness placed a mark indicating something was wrong with a passage that read from a reporter. He didn't partake in any sex with any of us, but he flirted with me. He'd laugh and tell Jeffrey, "You've got the life." And then the witness ended up telling Menninger he didn't partake in any sex with us, but it's not true that he flirted with me. Donald Trump never flirted with me. The next sentence is, he'd laugh and tell Jeffrey, "You've got the life." She said, "I never said that." So, I mean, he was mentioned, but he was completely exonerated from any wrongdoing. And I think it's actually beneficial for him that these files came out.
It's going to keep developing. I think this will be month-long stories again. I don't think it's going to go away anytime soon. Mm-hmm. There's going to be, obviously, the conservative media atmosphere and just people in general. And obviously, legacy media is going to do everything they can to bury this and keep it away going into 2024, just like they did with the laptop story, just like what they've done with everything else. It's an election year. Keep your eye on the ball. This is big stuff. And, the next few months going into the primary season, they're going to try to redirect to something else during that time to keep Trump off the ballot. And I mean, it's going to be a lot. There's going to be a lot of psychological, spiritual, and political warfare that happens in the next 6 months. And I think this was just their first shot that's going to be shot across the bow for stuff. So
yeah,
we'll keep an eye on it. But
yeah, if you guys want to stay up to date with all of the updates that have come out so far, if you need to get up to speed with it, we have been covering it extensively over at the Post Millennial. We post all of our articles on the Post Millennial on Twitter. So if you want to follow along or get up to speed, you can follow us there.
Sweet. Well, let's talk Wisconsin a little bit. Obviously, Arizona, Wisconsin, those are the two most important swing states that we focus on at Turning Point Action. 270 to win. Wisconsin is huge. And the states run your elections, right? And we've talked about this on the show extensively in Wisconsin. Robin Vos, who is the former elections director or current elections director still in the state of Wisconsin. Speaker Robin Vos, a moderate rhino squishy guy, whatever you want to call him, part of that swamp uniparty in Wisconsin. Actually has been, like I said, slow rolling her impeachment or getting rid of her. So can we pull up that screenshot that Brett Galacheski sent us today with a state representative who's kind of been spearheading this effort in the Wisconsin legislature? I'll go ahead and read you this here. This was from State Representative Janelle Branton. AR 18 faces additional misinformation, and AR probably stands for Assembly Resolution. AR 18 is not a bill. It's a non-binding resolution. It is the first step in impeaching Megan Wolfe. It has faced additional hurdles as Speaker Vos and Representative Stephan have created obstacles by pretending that the resolution requires a committee hearing or committee vote. Resolutions can go directly to the floor for passage, but are only sent to committees when leadership wants them to die. Once again, Robin Vos is doing everything he can to protect Megan Wolfe. It's a shame that the misinformation continues instead of addressing the chief election officer in Wisconsin who has repeatedly broken the law without consequences. So what she's saying here is that according to Wisconsin law, actually, and how the rules work in their legislature, is that a state representative like Representative Brandt Jen, she can write that assembly resolution, a non-binding one, and the Speaker of the House and the leadership, most states are like this, they get a resolution and they can assign it to a committee or they can just bring it to the floor. Wisconsin, apparently, you can just bring it to the floor for a full vote. What she's saying here is that the Speaker is assigning it to a committee so it will die. So there will be no removal vote. And the reason why they do this is because they know that the votes are likely there on the floor, or they don't have the political will and the political courage to actually go through with something like this. I think there's another screenshot we have up here. This is how fake some of these people are and why it's so imperative that the Wisconsin grassroots kind of pay attention to what's going on at their state capitol for election integrity. It looks like I think they're going to pull it up here in a minute, a mailer that was sent out on behalf of Robin Vos for the primary election this last year, leading the fight for election integrity. And he's got a picture there with President Trump. Obviously, President Trump is huge on election integrity. So he's pulling the wool over the eyes of those voters there. And then when it's time to actually do stuff for election integrity, like getting rid of a terrible elections officer in a swing state like Wisconsin, he's not actually doing it. He's using his position as Speaker of the House to lie to the Republican voters of Wisconsin that they don't have the votes because he's going to send it to a committee so it'll actually die. This reminds me so much of Rusty Bowers in Arizona, where there was, after 2020, the Republicans in our state legislature had a lot of bills to clean up elections, talking about hand counting the ballots, tighter signature verification, strengthening chain of custody laws, recount models, et cetera, et cetera. And Rusty Bowers, who, he was a dictator about this. Rusty Bowers took a lot of those election integrity bills and he assigned them to multiple committees. When you do that, that's increasing the chances of your bill dying. It's harder to get it through multiple committees. And so once it's assigned to one, it's already tough enough to get a bill through committee. When it's assigned to multiple, it's easier to kill and die because you have to whip more votes and get it across the finish line. It's a lot harder that way. Apparently, that's what Robin Vos is doing, the same exact thing with trying to get rid of the big bad wolf. And so I don't know. I think this is actually going to piss off the grassroots in Wisconsin a lot because they're right there on the precipice of doing some really great things for election integrity in Wisconsin. Their two biggest faults right now, in my opinion, are, not getting rid of Megan Wolfe and still flirting with the idea of ranked choice voting. We also have a statement from last fall, November 2023, the Milwaukee County Republican Party sent a letter to the speaker, saying essentially, because Wisconsin, a crucial state for the improprieties in 2020, the Wisconsin Constitution and the state statute gives them that ability to oversee these elections, removing Megan Wolfe for government accountability. We stand, shoulder to shoulder with all these other states that are standing up for election integrity. And so when the grassroots, like the party, is telling the leadership, hey, we want you to do something about this, and they're not taking it seriously. This is exactly what happened to Rusty Bowers. So this should be an idea for Speaker Vos to like, hey, Rusty Bowers did the same exact type of thing regarding election integrity, where the party, the people that you answer to, your precinct committeemen, your precinct delegates, the grassroots, the party faithful that get you guys elected, that delivered your majority, your super majority in the Arizona or the Wisconsin legislature, when you don't follow through in your promises and you play with election integrity and you flirt with Democrats and you make deals with these people, this is how you get ousted. This is how you actually weaken the Republican unity in your state, is because what the speaker is doing right now is giving her some cover. And that's not what the people of the Republicans in Wisconsin want.
Yeah, and speaking of speakers being ousted, I feel like, people saw it firsthand happen on a high level in the House, so the U.S. House. So, it's just going to light a flame under the grassroots to make that happen.
Right. From an outside perspective, looking in a state like Arizona, we've gone through this many times before. And it's put us in this situation where now in our legislature, we have way more conservatives who are gung-ho and paying attention and working on election integrity stuff. We have the same type of dynamic that they have in Wisconsin with a Republican legislature and a Democrat governor. It's hard to get things done. But election integrity is defense. Chasing ballots and registering voters and doing the lawfare stuff of it for elections is playing offense. And I'm afraid in Wisconsin, they're not doing either of them right now. And Trump, I think recently was like, Wisconsin was a state where he and Biden are neck and neck, and stuff like this is going to matter come the end of Wisconsin legislative session, whenever this stuff goes into law, and whoever's overseeing elections in those states, because every midterm election cycle before the presidential election year, whoever is like the Secretary of State or somebody who is, the chief elections officer, they make a big impact on these election results. And Wisconsin, one of those three states that we absolutely have to win.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I really hope that this show gives you guys more of an idea and kind of an education on, why aren't we getting rid of these people right away? Why aren't we doing more for election integrity? It's a long, long walk. It's a long game that has to be played here. But things like that, or just getting rid of the Megan Wolfe person over the chief elections office in the state of Wisconsin, the Republican Party, the grassroots in Wisconsin, keep after it. Don't let up on this issue because it's going to make a difference. The country is on the line. The 2024 presidential election has already started. This kind of stuff makes a huge impact. So, Speaker Voss, get it done. The people of the Wisconsin and the entire country are counting on you to do the right thing for this country. Speaking of ranked choice voting, it's back again in Arizona. We talk about it a lot on this show.
Y'all, last time I was here co-hosting, I didn't even know what ranked choice voting was. Now I am completely educated, completely against it. So I'm here. I'm prepared this time. Let's go.
Yeah. You were there and you listened to us bloviate all couple hours about why it's so bad. But here in Arizona, obviously, those of you who've been following the show for the last 20 episodes, in the Arizona legislature last year, I wrote a bill that will be sent to the ballot in November of this year in Arizona to essentially ban ranked choice voting and the jungle primary in Arizona in our Republican primaries. My colleague and Freedom Caucus brother, Representative Alex Calden, and I teamed up together this year for this session. He wrote a bill, and I co-sponsored it, HCR 2001, that will be asking the entire state of Arizona to enshrine citizenship-based voting into our Constitution. And we're also going to finish the job and clarify that ranked choice voting is banned in general elections too. So that'll be something that we have to get across the finish line this year in Arizona to be on the ballot.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing that I actually thought was interesting, because I did join Austin in his, I think it was titled Ranked Choice Voting and Jungle Primaries, that breakout session at AmFest. Basically, the key takeaway, the big picture, if there's one thing that you don't want to do in Arizona, it's sign any petitions.
That's right.
That are circulating right now, because none of them are in our corner. I thought that was super powerful. I was actually I was getting groceries the other day and I saw someone.
Oh, did you really?
It looked like I can't verifiably say what the petition was for, but kind of fit the persona of a left winger. And so I had to kind of carefully plan my escape there. I ran into the grocery store, kind of like when you are trying to avoid a homeless person begging for cash. I had to plan my route to get back to my car. Ran past her. I'm like, I'm not signing that thing, because I remember what Austin said. Or actually, I think it was Gina. I don't remember her last name.
Gina Swoboda.
Yeah. She was amazing. But one big takeaway from that, do not sign any petitions circulating in Arizona right now.
Nothing.
Yes.
You have the group Make Elections Fair and the Voter Choice Arizona people, two different groups. One's trying to bring the jungle primary and ranked choice voting together.
Yep.
And then the other group is just trying to bring ranked choice voting all together without the jungle primary, just total ranked choice voting. So my bill goes after pretty much what the Make Elections Fair people are doing. Representative Collins is going to go after what the ranked choice voting people are trying to do. Now, like I said, their biggest challenge is those groups have to get over 383,000 signatures.
Yep.
These just require a simple majority in our legislature. They go to the ballot. We'd be voted on them as a general public in Arizona, and it becomes law. It's so much easier that way. And so you're going to see people outside of the grocery stores, outside of the public libraries, maybe at the corner somewhere, like, hey, wouldn't you like to change the election system in Arizona? No, we do not.
Outside Total Wine, actually, that's where I was.
So they're going after the wine moms.
I have to be honest with that.
Right.
Actually, yeah, that's very fitting. Now that you bring that up,
yes,
it's the wine moms.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
They're going to go after the wine moms.
Oh my
they're going to
gosh,
stand
don't
outside
tell me
of...
I'm becoming a wine mom. It can't be.
Yeah, they're going to start... I'm not going to ask you where you live, but I can tell you, in certain parts of the valley in Arizona, they will stand outside of the Total Wines, the public libraries, any place where they know somebody who's probably a shopper that is center left or leans center left. That's who they're going to go after for those signatures. They're going to say, aren't you tired of the partisanship and the craziness of both sides? Well, what this is going to do is it's going to reduce all of that. It's going to put a stop to all of them. That couldn't be further from the truth, because they're going to manipulate people.
Well, and they're gonna come up to you and actually knock on your windows as you're getting in your car trying to drive away. They're relentless about it. At least the person that I saw that's what she was doing. And I could tell people were just signing it to kind of get her to go away. And, maybe that's also the crowd that would be hanging around a Total Wine, or people that, just want to be left alone and get to drinking. So that's what they're going to go after, and just don't do it. That's the main takeaway. Just don't do it.
Don't do it. We already have something on the ballot in Arizona to ban it. We're going to have another one on the ballot. Potentially, we got to get it through the Arizona legislature this cycle, hopefully as soon as possible. So it'll be on the early ballot in October of this year. I'm trying to think here, too, that there's a slight possibility that we may be having a debate with the people from ranked choice voting.
Ooh.
We may be having a special episode here at Swing State Update, a debate between myself or Tyler with the people from ranked choice voting.
Oh, I love a good debate night. I can moderate.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Let's do it.
I imagine the person that they're going to send is going to be wearing a mask or, probably not a registered voter of the state.
Yeah, for sure. Probably has some kind of obscure hair color.
Oh, yeah. Obscure hair color, triple vaxxed, all that good stuff. Everything that just check off all the boxes of somebody you would expect to be a ranked choice voting petition gatherer.
Yeah, but we'll make it civil, get some good pictures, show the stark contrast.
Yeah, I mean, I'm down to have
parties.
I'm down to have that conversation. They I'll tell you what, a few weeks ago when we had Abraham Hamadeh on this episode, or I think Tyler and I were talking about the Congressional District 8 race and how there's like multiple conservatives in the race between Abe Hamadeh, Blake Masters, Anthony Kern, and then the more establishment-picked candidate, Ben Toma, and that there's probably going to be some vote splitting. And so they, I think, want to debate us because we're proving their point that it's a vote splitting, and if we had ranked choice voting, that wouldn't happen. That couldn't be further from the truth. They didn't actually listen to the episode. They're not actually comprehending about what vote splitting actually is and how that actually converts to ballot exhaustion. So I'm ready to debate them. I'm ready for them to be on this show. We as conservatives believe in dialogue and debate. So they're more than welcome to come on. So we're going to work on that to get a special episode of debating ranked choice voting here in Arizona.
Amazing. I'm excited. You guys have to tune in for that one if you're listening.
Well, I mean, TPAction.com/get involved. We're going to be, as time goes on, we're already recording, every single week, at least twice a week, live here in Arizona during the beginning of the week, talking about the ballot chase effort in Arizona, in Wisconsin. We're hiring people. You guys just all went back to work this week after the holiday. You probably have some PTO. We need you and the family and the dog and grandma and grandpa to pick some time here in Arizona, a week or a weekend, to come down here and chase ballots with us. If you have, 26 or 30 hours of PTO this year, dedicate some of that time and come to the state of Arizona or Wisconsin. Come down here and chase ballots with us. We will have more than enough work and capability to do that. The Democrats, I think, have figured out, and they're starting to pay attention, that Turning Point Action and other great conservatives organizations aligned with us, like Early Vote Action with Scott Pressler, are going to be recruiting people not just within our state, but from across the country to come to Arizona and Wisconsin and Georgia and chase these ballots. If you live in Arizona and you want to get involved somehow, some way, you want to be involved in coalitions, you want to be involved in Chase the Vote, I need you to go to tpaction.com/get involved. We need to get your information right now so we can reach out to you when the time comes to come chase ballots. It's going to be a huge effort. We need all hands on deck to come to the state of Arizona, because I think if you look at all of these polls, Donald Trump is leading Joe Biden in so many of them, and I think that's kind of becoming a head fake now, to where they want the RNC and all of these other big political organizations on the right to focus on where Trump is leading in a state like maybe Michigan or Nevada, and take a lot of our resources out of Arizona and Georgia and Wisconsin. But we need everybody focused on Arizona.
Yeah.
don't look at those polls. Don't pay attention. Come to Arizona for a week and chase ballots regardless.
What would be the ideal week? Because people are planning their 2024s. We want to make sure that we reserve those PTO hours if they are interested.
So here's how it works in Arizona. August is our primary time. After the primary, the general election early voting period where we have absentee mail voting goes out. That goes out in October. Those ballots are usually sent out the first week or the first week and a half into October. I'll check the exact date.
That's my birthday.
Oh, really? When's
Around
your birthday?
October 3rd.
October 3rd? My brother's October 2nd. So it's right there at the same time.
Libras.
Yeah. And so they the early voting in Arizona, that a whole time in October. So I mean that's the first there's 3 full weeks in October, October 6th through the 12th, October 13th through the 19th, October 20th through the 26th, October 27th through the 31st. Halloween ends on a Thursday this year. Mm-hmm. Pick a few days during October and come out here and chase ballots with us. At the Turning Point Action headquarters, we'll get everybody ready to rock and roll to chase ballots in October. It's going to be beautiful.
Yeah, I was just about to say, it's going to be really nice during that time. If you're thinking, I don't want to go out to Arizona anywhere near the summer, it actually starts getting really beautiful that first week of October.
We will be in shorts.
You're not going to be, you'll be in shorts, but you're not going to be sweating,
No.
It's not going to be hard labor.
No. It's going to be a beautiful time of the year. You'll enjoy Arizona in October. TPAction.com/get involved. TPAction.com/chase the vote. We need everybody to come to Arizona.
I'll be here.
You're going to be here. I'll be here. I'll be here.
Come help me celebrate my birthday, guys.
It's exciting. It's exciting what's going to happen in Arizona this year. The other part is TPAction.com/precinct. We were just talking about Wisconsin and the Milwaukee County Republican Party telling the Speaker of the House in November of this last year to do his job. Well, the people who wrote that letter are the leadership of the Milwaukee County Republican Party. How did they get there? They're involved in their precinct. They're the ones that make up the nuts and bolts, the true and blue grassroots of the Republican Party. You're not actually in the Republican Party unless you're a precinct leader, a precinct captain, a precinct delegate, a precinct chair, a precinct president. Whatever the nomenclature is for your state, you've got to be a precinct committeeman, precinct chair. We're getting ready to have our big Maricopa County Republican Committee meeting this month, where we elect members at large that represent us at the party. We're also going to be having our mandatory meeting for the state party, where we elect some more party official stuff. If you're upset with the direction how the party's going, if you're upset because Ronna Romney doesn't do a very good job,
which
you've got to be a precinct chair. Are you a precinct committeeman yet?
No.
Okay. So we've got to get Jessica signed up to be a precinct committeeman.
I'll do it. You heard it
I'll
here.
tell our team right now, by the end of the week, Jessica has to be signed up as a precinct committeeman.
I will accept that. I'll accept a challenge. It's not even a challenge. I will do it.
Good. Precinct committeeman, precinct chair, precinct delegate. We need everybody to be a part of it. They're going to be, this year is the Republican National Convention in August. A lot of our precinct committeemen in Arizona run to be delegates to our state convention. And then at our state convention, we elect our delegates to go to our national convention. You may be one of those people, well, I want to go and vote, give my delegates. Tyler talked about it earlier this week to nominate Trump as president. Mm-hmm. Well, you've got to likely be a precinct committeeman or a precinct delegate in your state. Just be involved at that level so you can go to your state convention and run to be a national delegate. I was I was a precinct committeeman then, and I was a delegate from my legislative district to the state party in 2020. Mm-hmm. And then I was the youngest delegate from Arizona. But the problem was, that was going to be my first RNC, and COVID happened, obviously.
Okay.
And the RNC was like, nope, we're not doing this massive convention. We're only sending so many people from each state to be delegates, and then those people will get to reward. I don't think that's going to happen this year. I don't think the RNC, and obviously if the deep state and the Wuhan flu try to rear its ugly head again to stop having a convention. I hope not.
No, me neither. I mean, what are we due for? Maybe like an outbreak of a deadly skin rash or something next. I feel like we just can't be shocked anymore.
No, don't buy into any of the hysteria. Become a precinct committeeman, become a precinct chair, a precinct leader, so you can go to the RNC in 2024. We need every grassroots America First person to be a part of it. TPAction.com/coalitions. our Farmers and Ranchers Coalition, our Moms Coalition, our Healthcare Workers Coalition, our educators. We've got a lot of groups that we're building at Turning Point Action to have long-standing impact within the conservative movement. A lot of times, campaigns will form coalitions. It'll be like, Moms for John Doe for governor, or, Farmers and Ranchers for John Doe for governor. Mm-hmm. And those campaigns only last a year to a year and a half, and those coalitions fall off. What we're doing at Turning Point Action is building long-standing coalitions that last longer than most of us may be at Turning Point Action. Why is that important? When you have somebody who has credibility, like a mom, can go into another group of moms and explain to them what's going on, convince them to chase ballots, to convince them to be involved in the school board. I can't go into a group of moms and convince them that they need to be precinct committeemen. Some of the staff members on our team that are moms have that instant credibility. That's the part of the Moms Coalition. If you're a farmer or you're a rancher, like me, I can go to those groups and say, you guys need to be aware of this issue. You guys need to be precinct committeemen or precinct chairs. What do you think?
I mean, I'll just start the Avid Indoor Cycling Coalition.
Hey, whatever we got to do to build the Army, we should be doing it.
I mean, it is a tight-knit community, so I'm an instructor there.
Bodybuilders,
let's get it going.
Cyclists, marathon runners.
Yep. No, not that.
No?
Can't do that.
No?
But I'm not a marathon runner, but Indoor Cycling Coalition, it's coming.
I love it. Any final thoughts before we get out of here?
Oh, gosh. Final thoughts. It's the start. I know we had an episode, I think it was honestly Monday on New Year's, but this is the first episode that I am on since 2024 began. Just, don't play into all of the doomsday hype that I've been seeing on social media. That's honestly my final thoughts. I've been seeing a lot of influential voices posting that 2024, is going to be the year of the doomsday, and all the elites are getting their doomsday bunkers prepared. Just, enjoy the year with your family. It's mostly ads.
I will say enjoy the year with your family, but also be alert. Stay safe.
Alert. For
be
sure,
alert and
be
stay
alert.
safe.
Yeah.
Down here in Arizona, it's a little dangerous right now with just the influx of illegals just coming across the border unchecked. So everybody stay alert.
Yeah, that's
for
not
sure.
to say to put your guard down by any means, but, stay frosty, as Jack Posobiec says.
Stay frosty.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys next week.